test for reducing sugars after you have got the background in the previous video about why they are called reducing sugar and so on. How do we test for them? Now we need to go straight. Those ones who are watching me, please, I want to thank you for always following me. Now, I want to go straight to the procedure. I've already told you that when we are testing for reducing sugars, we use Benedict solution. And I've already told you that the condition is we are supposed to what? To boil. So how is the procedure? The procedure is that to 1 centimeter cubed of the solution. Which solution? We are calling this one, we can call it food solution. Here, you have the food, so you have made a solution, let us call it the food solution. Or the food solution, comma, add 5, to 1 centimeter cubed of the food solution, add 1 centimeter cubed of Benedict's what? Of Benedict solution, and what? And boil. And boil for 1 minute. And boil for 1 minute. Yeah, so, please take note of the following. 1, it means when you're testing for reducing sugars, we use a small quantity of the food solution, which is 1 centimeter cubed. And you must have a solution. And we use the same quantity of Benedict's what? Solution. The same quantity of Benedict's solution. And then something important, we are supposed to what? To boil. And then we don't boil forever. We are saying we boil for 1 minute. Very, very important. Should you miss out any of these 1, it means you are not right. Now, one thing you need to know is that in as far as the advanced level is concerned, or even in the O-levelers in the new curriculum, you are requested to write this one yourself. You write these things, these procedures by yourself. So it means when you're writing them, you write them in a reported speech. That means you write them in a past simple tense. So it means if you're writing your own procedure and you're reporting what you did, for example, you have made a practical and now you are reporting what you did, you would say, to 1 centimeter cubed of the food solution, sometimes they call them solution A, solution B, whatever. To 1 centimeter cubed of the food solution was added 1 centimeter cubed of Benedict solution and boiled for 1 minute. Or you can simply say that to 1 centimeter cubed of the food solution, 1 centimeter cubed of Benedict solution was added and the mixture was boiled for 1 minute. Have you got me? If you're writing in a reported speech, you are an A-level student, or you are in a new curriculum for ordinary level in Uganda, and you're writing this one here in your reported speech. You just change this word into a reported speech. So here we have to 1 centimeter cubed of the food solution, add 1 centimeter cubed of Benedict solution, and boil. So for you can write it and you say that to 1 centimeter cubed of the food solution, 1 centimeter cubed of Benedict solution was added and the mixture boiled for 1 minute. Hope you have got me there. Now, when you do this, after you have done this procedure the way it is here, the observations, I've told you when you're writing the observations, you're supposed to make sure you begin with the color of the solution that I have given you. If it is a colorless solution, you tell us a colorless solution. If it's a colorless solution, you tell us a colorless solution. If it is whatever solution, you tell us whatever solution. If it is blue, if it is white, you tell us it's a white solution. So you begin by telling us the color of the food solution you have made. For example, if I come in front of you here, I have told you I'm going to first use this lab reagent here, which is called glucose. So I'm going to pick a small sample of glucose. And I dissolve it I'm going to pick a small sample of glucose and I dissolve it in water. So I have glucose, and remember we have said glucose is a reducing sugar. So I'm going to pick a small sample of glucose, and I'm going to first dissolve it in water. And so I have this sample of glucose. I'm going to first dissolve it in water. Remember, we said all reducing sugars are what? Reducing sugars are soluble. So you see, when I dissolve, I hope you see that it has dissolved. Remember we said reducing sugars are soluble. So I'm going to pick this smaller sample of this solution here. So it means now a glucose solution, there is glucose here. So I'm going to get this smaller sample. So this solution is colorless. So this is the colorless solution. So assume I have this solution which is a mixture of reducing sugars, and I'm saying in this this food solution, I am supposed to add 1 centimeter cubed of Benedict solution. So I'm going to come here and I first pick a smaller sample. Actually, assay is very important in as far as practicals are concerned. So I am going to come, I have my measuring cylinder here. I'm going to measure out of this, and I'm going to measure 1 centimeter cubed. I'm going to measure 1 centimeter cubed. This is a lot. So I'm going to measure 1 centimeter cubed. Sorry. Yeah, so, of course, here, yeah, so I have my 1 centimeter cubed here of this solution of glucose. So this 1 centimeter cubed, I'm going to put it in a test tube. I have my test tube here. I'm going to put this 1 centimeter cubed in a test tube. Like that. Yeah, so I hope you see how 1 centimeter cubed 1 centimeter cubed looks like. It is almost where the whole of this round thing of a test tube starts from. Yeah, so this is the quantity we are talking about, the 1 centimeter cubed. Some of you, when in a practical and the 1 centimeter cubed, you even add up to around here. So the 1 centimeter cubed is in a small test tube like this. That's the quantity. Yeah. So after having this 1 centimeter cubed of the food solution, I'm supposed to add the same quantity of what? Of Benedict solution. So I can first put it here. I'm going to first put it here. Yeah. So I am going to remove these ones and I bring them here so that you can be able to observe very well. These ones I'm going to bring all of them and I put them this side so that you who is following me, you can see very well. So I have 1 centimeter cubed of the food solution. I am going to come and I put there 1 centimeter cubed of the same quantity of Benedict solution. So I'm going to use a dropper here to measure the same quantity, and a quantity which is almost equal to the other one. Yeah, so when I look at these two, I hope you see they're almost equal. So I have 1 centimeter cubed of the food. I am going to add 1 centimeter cubed of what? Of Benedict solution. Hope you are following me. So when I get 1 centimeter cubed and I add it here, if I get this Benedict and I add it here like this, like that, what has happened? When you check, my solution has turned what? Has turned blue. At first it was a colorless solution, now it has turned into a blue solution. So what am I going to come and say? I'm going to come here and I say that a colorless solution turned. Remember, I'm writing in reported speech. Turned into what? Turned into a blue solution. So after getting the 1 centimeter cubed of the food, and I add there, now this food is colorless solution. I am adding there Benedict solution. When I add Benedict solution, it turns to a blue solution. Then they are saying, and boil for 1 minute. I'm going to boil for 1 minute. So after that, I'm supposed to boil this mixture for 1 minute. Now, for some of you who don't know how to light a stove, you will use this lesson to learn how to light up a stove. So I have my stove here, which has paraffin inside there. I'm going to light it up. For those who don't know how to light a stove, use this lesson to learn. Yeah, so I come and light up my stove there. That's what I'm going to use. Like that. I have my stove there. Yeah, so this stove is what I'm going to use. So I'm going to get this mixture here, which is blue, and I'm going to boil. Now when I boil, I am expecting something, because what I've mixed is glucose. I have mixed glucose, so I expect to see something, some changes. And I want you to check out with me. You check out with me. So what do I expect? When I boil this mixture, because I mixed glucose here, which glucose I'm very sure it is reducing sugar. Or if whatever I'm boiling has a reducing sugar, I expect these colors to change from blue to green to yellow to orange, even to brown. Why? Because the glucose is supposed to turn. The glucose is supposed to turn this copper 2 sulfate. I mean copper 2 ions which are in Benedict solution into copper 1, and copper 1 after it is brown. So if reducing sugars are really too much, I expect these sugars to turn Benedict solution from blue to all other colors up to brown, which is the copper 1. However, sometimes when reducing sugars are not enough, are somehow few, the colors may not reach up to what? May not reach up to brown. So the colors will turn from blue to brown. However, that is when you have too much reducing sugars. But when you have a few, then the colors might go up to some few colors in the middle there. Maybe let me first say something about that before we boil. We are saying if reducing sugars are really present, the colors are supposed to turn from blue to green to yellow to orange, then to brown. Now when the colors turn from blue up to brown, that means you have too much reducing sugars. However, when you have little reducing sugars, the colors may not come up to brown, they may come up to green. When you have moderate reducing sugars, the colors may come from blue to green up, they stop on what? On yellow. When you have much reducing sugars, the colors may come up to orange. So where they stop depends on the quantity of reducing sugars that is present in that food that you are having. Hope you are getting me. So, and one thing you need to know about this one is that blue, chemically, blue is a solution. Chemically, green is a solution. Yellow is a precipitate. And all these ones are all precipitates. All these ones are precipitates. So chemically, the yellow, orange, brown, these are all precipitates. But blue is a solution, green is a solution. I have said the colors go, if reducing sugars are too much, the colors, that means the copper 2 ions are going to be reduced seriously, and the colors are going to go up to what? Up to brown. But depending on the quantity of reducing sugar that you have in that food or in that solution, the colors go on changing. And if you have little, the colors turn from blue to green, and they stop there. If you have moderate, they turn from blue to green to yellow. That's when you have moderate reducing sugars. If you have much, it is from blue to green to yellow to orange. If you have too much, they go up to brown. So as I'm boiling, I want you to see very well on your screen. You put lights, you increase on the lights so that you can be able to see these colors as we boil together. Come with me. So I have my fire here. So I am going to start boiling. When you are boiling, you are supposed to keep moving. You don't just put like this and start boiling. No, you should boil as you are moving a bit, so that as you are mixing a bit, so that the boiling is gentle. So I am going to boil. And as I boil, so we have blue. From blue, you are supposed to first see green. So from blue, when you boil, you are supposed to first see green. So we are boiling. So from blue, I don't know what color you're already seeing there. From blue, you're supposed to first see green. You're supposed to see green. So, as I'm boiling here, from blue, you're supposed to see green first. You're supposed to see green first. Then from green, we see yellow and so on and so on. So this is green. Then from there, we are going now to yellow. From yellow, we got orange. Yellow. From yellow, we got orange. Then from orange, the colors go up to brown. Hope you see what we have got here. I don't know if you have seen all the colors. I hope you have seen all the colors. So you see what I'm having here. So this one I'm having here is my orange. Is my orange. That if we can continue, if we have excess, we can have the color go up to brown. Can go up the colors up to brown, going up to brown. So you see what I've got. So I hope you have seen the colors. Sometimes when you have too much reducing sugars, these colors can change so rapidly that by the time you realize it, the things have gone up to. If you have not seen the colors, you just rewind your video like this a bit behind and see all those colors the way we have seen them together. So this is now the final color we have got. However, somebody might say, hey, teacher, you have not boiled for 1 minute. Yeah, so you continue boiling. You continue boiling until the 1 minute elapses. Why? Because if 1 minute does not elapse, it means maybe you might find that you have picked those things before. So you continue boiling. However, some of you might say, but teacher, those colors have turned before the boiling. Yes, sometimes the colors might turn before the boiling as long as the heat comes in. But however, for you to confirm the final product, all the things the solution must first what? Must first boil. It must first boil. So if it has not boiled, then it means you're not supposed to turn. Yeah, so when you check actually now, because I've seriously boiled, you see the thing is actually turning into brown. The one the orange I had is now turning into brown. It's turning into brown. Orange is too much, somehow is much more shining compared to brown. See? So you are seeing the color is now turned from what I had. The one which I previously had was more shining. That was brown. That was orange. Now it is turning into brown. It's turning into brown. So because I have continued to heat for 1 minute. So some of you, when you start boiling, when you see the things turn, immediately just stop there and you can start writing. You find that you are supposed to get brown, but because for you have rushed to boil, you end up having what? You end up getting orange. Why? Because you have not boiled for 1 minute. So you're supposed to continue boiling until the 1 minute elapses. And as I'm timing here on my watch, the 1 minute has elapsed. So I have now gotten a brown. Brown is too dirty. Is dirty. Orange is somehow shining, but brown is becoming dirty. So this is now brown solution that I've got. So if I'm now to write, I'm supposed to write all those colors that I've got until this final color. So come with me now. When it comes to writing, we shall say that the color solution turns to a brown solution, it turns to a blue solution, and then we shall come and say on boiling, comma, the blue solution turned to, first it turned to green solution. Then after we went to what? To yellow, and after the yellow is a precipitate. To yellow precipitate. Chemically, when you got this chemical formula and the reaction which takes place, yellow is a precipitate. Then to what? Then to orange precipitate. To orange precipitate, and then finally to a brown precipitate. A brown precipitate. So you see all these ones here. From colorless, that was the initial color, to the blue solution. That's after adding Benedict. Then on boiling, after boiling now for 1 minute, the things turned from blue to now to green solution, to yellow precipitate, to orange precipitate, and finally to brown precipitate. So the more, if it is in terms of marking, it means here, the more you write these things, the more you are marks. So the colors, you know the color of the initial color of the solution that you have, then you know the color after, then you know after boiling you turned into this, all these ones are marks that you are getting, all these ones are all marks in case you are right. So it means you who observed, who only boiled for a few seconds and you stopped, you will not be able to see the brown precipitate. So you will not get all the marks if it was awarding marks. For you who boiled for just a few seconds and then you got excited and wrote, you're not able to get all these marks. Yeah, and then there are some people who just only heat. If you say heat, that is the wrong procedure. It's supposed to be and boil for 1 minute. So if you come here and by mistake you say on heating it turned, that will not be correct because it means you would have heated, you would not have boiled. So you're supposed to say on what? On boiling, the solution turned to, then you put all these colors now. We have said in case your things, what you have boiled has come up to this point, you have got all these colors up to brown, then your conclusion must be, somebody might just come and say reducing sugars are what? Reducing sugars are present. But I told you that we want to know how much of the reducing sugars are present. So you're supposed to come and tell us that because we have got up to brown, here we're supposed to come and tell us here that it is supposed to be too much reducing sugars are present. There is a mark of what you get for you to be able to identify the quantity of the reducing sugars which are present. So somebody who says that reducing sugars are present is correct, but he has not told us about the quantity. But you who comes and tells us that it is too much, you get an extra marker. So you need to get all those marks. If you want to pass, you need to get all those extra marks. So we are saying that this is how you are supposed to write. So it means tomorrow, if you boil, for example, if you boil, and tomorrow if you get your own solution and then you boil, and on boiling, assume it was a colorless solution, and your colorless solution turns from, it was colorless, then it turns from blue, and you boil and it turns to a green solution. A green solution, and it stops there. A colorless solution turns to a blue solution. On boiling, the blue solution turns to a green solution and it stops there. Then that means this one you say little reducing sugars are present. If tomorrow you boil your mixture and you have a colorless solution, and then after you add Benedict, it turns into a blue solution, then on boiling, the blue solution turns to green solution, then it goes to yellow precipitate, and it stops there. Then it means this is when you are supposed to say moderate. So here we say moderate reducing sugars are present. And then if tomorrow you are doing a practical, and for you have initial color, then you boil, and after boiling, on boiling, the blue solution turns to a green solution, then to yellow precipitate, then to orange precipitate, and stops there. Then here we say much reducing sugars present. You see, here we have little, moderate, much, and then too much. So if you hit and the things that go up to brown, if now you come from blue to green to yellow to orange, then to brown, like what we have got here, then you say too much reducing sugars are present. That's how this test is. And then in case you hit the mixture, in case you boil the mixture, and maybe had a color solution, then it turned into a blue solution. Then on boiling, the blue solution remains a blue solution. Sometimes we say the blue solution persists. If a blue solution remains a blue solution, or sometimes they say a blue solution persists on boiling. If on boiling, the blue solution remains a blue solution, then here we shall say reducing sugars are what? Reducing sugars are absent. For example, let me use some example very obviously here. Let me get a test tube here, which is like this, and I put just water without adding anything. I get like water. Here I get this is the quantity. Assume this is water. This is water from the tap. I don't know. This water might be impure anyway. It might be impure. It might be having some sugars. Who knows? But let us try to see. If I get the water, let me not use this test tube here because I'm doubting its cleanliness. Let me pick another one which I'm sure it is clean. Yeah, so I have these two mixtures here. I have got water, just water from the tap. I want to add there the same quantity of Benedict's solution. Here I want to add the same quantity of Benedict's solution, and then I boil and I see. If I have these two, remember you're supposed to ensure that the two are equal. So if I come and I combine these two, if I get now this Benedict solution and I add it here, and then of course I've also got a blue solution, then now I want to boil. If I boil water from the tap, maybe this tap might be having water which has got some sugars, who knows? Let me boil and I see. So when I boil here, how would the colors turn? I have a blue solution. Now I'm going to boil it and I see. Maybe this water might be having some sugars, who knows? So I have a blue solution. Here, I want to boil it. If I boil it, here I'm boiling it. I hope you see it is boiling. And now if I'm boiling, what are the colors changing? I'm expecting colors not to change. Because water from the tap does not have sugars, does not have reducing sugars. So since water from the tap does not have reducing sugars, the other time with this one, by this time these colors would have already changed. They had already changed by this time. So what you see when you boil here, the colors are not what? Are not turning. Why? Because water from the tap does not have any reducing sugar, does not have any glucose. So you see the colors have remained what? Have remained blue. So when you don't have reducing sugars, what happens? Maybe if it was a colored solution, you would say a colored solution turns to a blue solution. Then on boiling, the blue solution remains the blue solution. And in that case, you would say reducing sugars are absent. Reducing sugars are absent. So that is how we are having it there. So this is how we test for reducing sugars. This is how you make observations, and this is how you make the conclusions. This is how you write the procedure. However, I've told you the procedure. When you're writing, you usually write these things yourself, so you turn this procedure into a reported speech, and I've told you in reported speech you say to 1 centimeter cube of the food solution, 1 centimeter cube of the Benedict solution was added and the mixture boiled for 1 minute. Key, we use the same quantities of the reagent, the same quantities of the food solution. This is another key point. We boil, we don't heat, and we are saying we boil for 1 minute. If you boil for 1 second, you may not be able to see accurate results. That's why you are supposed to boil for 1 minute, at least 1 minute. So that is it. Now, let us join me in the next episode as we look at the food, if some of the foods which we usually eat have got reducing sugars. Thank you very much.